what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to talk about a solution to a problem that I've actually been dealing with over the last several years with the 300, and it's something very minor, but over the time it just became a problem. That is the water level or water height in the 300-gallon main display. And actually this is probably the first time you guys have ever seen the current at the top of the tank. I've never had the water this low in the display, and it really wasn't something that I thought about until recently when I started noticing the negative side effects of having the water level too high. So what I did, if you guys are not familiar, I do run a 3D printer farm. I do a ton of stuff of that. So I went ahead and I reprinted some overflows and lowered the level on my my 300, and I also added some covers there because I have a wrasse that loves to jump down the overflow. So I reprinted my overflows and put covers on them because well, it took care of two birds, one stone, or one overflow, one fish, either way. But basically, the problem I was having is with the original overflows that I had on this tank, even though they were 3D printed, they were too high, and when it started getting clogged or any kind of algae or detritus or whatever built up in the teeth of the overflows, it would raise the level up in the 300 to the point where if the fish were up the top messing around, especially when I had Big Bertha, the water would spill over or it would get stuck. Let me see if I can get a video of this. Or it would get stuck underneath the wood of the 300 and the little crack and crevices there, and it would just kind of come over the top, and you can see that it's doing quite a bit of damage to the wood. And given that I have to kind of live with this canopy for another year or so, I wasn't really interested in trying to replace it or fix it from the water damage. So I solved the issue by simply reprinting and lowering the flow, or lowering the height of the overflows. I also dialed down the flow just a little bit on the main display, and I also widened the teeth of the or the gap where the water flows through on the overflows themselves, so we don't get algae or detritus built up in them. And that seems to have fixed the problem. I haven't had any spillages or issues or water on the floor. The wood hasn't seemed to be getting damp or anything like that. And also I've been able to crank up my power heads a little bit more at the surface here because I don't have to worry about it splashing over. And yeah, so I guess it's just kind of a quick update. I wanted to show you, you know, these are the little things that over time you really don't realize until you're sitting back and it's been, you know, a couple years of the water continually getting up into the wood and rotting the wood out, pieces of it falling in the tank, or you just find salt water running down the front of the main display and you're trying to figure out, why is there salt water lines and streaks of dried salt on the front of my display? How's this happening? And then, you know, just noticing over time. So what I would say is it's definitely a good idea to keep the water down at least below the rim if you can. I mean, the look of it is okay. It's not horrible. But if you could keep it at there or a little bit lower, not only do you solve that issue, the water splashing over, but you also get to crank the power heads up and do some wave modes and some cool stuff that you wouldn't normally be able to do if it was higher. Now, visually, I do prefer not to see the water line. I think having it just be flat at the top is kind of my preference. But preference aside, I have to do what's best for the main display, what's best for, you know, longevity of this tank, because again, we got another year or two of it being as is, canopy wise, setup wise, so I kind of have to, you know, do what's best for now. So with that said, guys, I cannot make you these overflows. I know someone's going to ask me. I cannot make them for you. These are my own personal design, but there is a patent out there on this type of stuff, these type of overflows, and I can't make or manufacture them. So they're just kind of my personal use. They work for me, so I cannot help you with that, so I do apologize. But maybe I'll reach out to I think it's Custom Aquariums that has the patent on this type of overflow, and maybe I'll reach out to them and see, you know, what they think. But outside of that, I can't make you them. I do apologize, but you can kind of jerry rig your own thing with PVC and all that kind of stuff. So just, you know, you can do that if you want. Yeah. So with that said, guys, that's pretty much it for the video. One thing I do want to ask is, somebody requested a NEM guard for the Neptune wave pumps. They're saying that they're getting fish and NEMs stuck in them. I haven't had that issue yet, but if you guys would be interested in NEM guards for these, let me know. It's going to be a pain. I can just tell you by the shape of that pump, that's probably going to be a pain to make, but I am willing to do it if enough of you guys would be interested, and it can kind of justify the time. So, but with that said, guys, I'll see you later. All right, peace.